Welcome back, everybody. IGN Live from Comic-Con, presented by the all-new LG G4. I'm Damon Hatfield.
I'm Max Scoville.
Yeah, and we're hanging out with some notable cosplayers over here.
This is Leanna Vamp and Riddle and Megan Camarina.
Yo.
I got all your names wrong. Sorry, it's Gizmo, Ray Ayanami, and Gwen Stacy. My bad. Sorry.
There you go. There you go.
Well, Spider-Gwen.
Spider-Gwen.
Dang,
Spider-Gwen.
dude.
You got the mask off. What do we want?
True.
It's a headband. It's not even glasses. Come on.
Okay.
So how you guys doing? How's the show going for you?
Great, how are you doing?
I'm all right. I don't get to dress up quite as much.
You could.
You totally
We
should.
would totally let you cosplay on the
Yes,
show.
I would be
that's
fine. Actually, I'm Naomi Kyle, cleverly cosplaying as Max Scoville. You guys clearly do this a lot. This is not your first time doing this. How many times have you each done Comic-Con?
This is my 14th Comic-Con this year, and I've been doing this for about 9 years.
Wait, how does 9 fit into 14?
I've been coming to Comic-Con for 14
Oh, okay.
years, but dressing up for 9 years.
This is my 5th Comic-Con. I came in like 2007, and then I've been here the last 3 years, 4 years. It all blurs together.
It's my 4th. I've been
Okay.
coming since 2011.
Well, it's interesting because like you guys kind of have this, you got this kind of this range of experience, and cosplay's come a long way in the last decade even.
Yeah.
I mean, how did you two get started in it? Like you kind of.
I started coming to conventions just nerding out on stuff. So I would just come just to check stuff out, and I would see all these people in amazing costumes and just thought they look like they're having such a good time. So I just went for it and tried it, and I fell in love. It's so much fun, and it's Halloween all year round, and everyone is having so much fun. So it's like you can't really have a bad time.
I grew up in very rural Canada, and I was getting really into anime, and Halloween came around. I was like, oh, I want to be these characters.
Who was your first costume?
Oh, it was this old anime called Devil Hunter Yoko.
Okay.
Yeah, no one knows who it is. Don't worry.
Looking
And
at
like as far as I knew, I like invented cosplay because I didn't know anybody else who did it.
That's amazing.
And then I came to the realization when I got on the internet that that was not the case.
Okay.
And about a year and a half later, I went to my first con and I got to cosplay with like a bunch of other people, and I was just like, my people. Like to me, it's like wearing a geeky shirt, but like times 100.
Yeah.
So it's just when someone's wearing that costume that they love that character because they've put that much effort and time into that costume. So
Yeah.
you can go talk to them about it.
I mean, like I remember first hearing about like when I was like in high school, and like my friend went to like Otakon, and that was like people only did cosplay at mostly at anime conventions,
Yeah.
because it came over from Japan. But it's like since then, it's kind of like it's really commonplace. And like Megan, you're kind of jumping in on when it's already sort of some roads have been paved there. you know?
Yeah, thankfully. Thank you guys. I for the longest time I've been an in the closet nerd, and then in 2012 I went on this TV show where we raced around the world, and when I got back I was like, screw everyone else. Amazing Race.
Oh my God, I love
I
that.
was like, screw everyone else and what they think about me and what they think of my YouTube channel. I'm just gonna embrace my inner nerd, and I'm not gonna be apologetic about it. I'm just gonna do it.
nothing wrong with that. Yeah, that's great.
Going to conventions, I saw so many people just like dressing up, and I'm like, man, that's what I did like when no one was watching. Like that was, I would put my clothes together in my closet and be like, oh, this looks close enough to a superhero. Now being able to do it is it's such a dream come true, and it's so fun because I get to be someone who inspires me at conventions like this, or every day if still no one's watching.
And we're all home when we're at these things. Like
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
so much at home with my friends, and it's an amazing time every time.
It's also like, I mean, like you said, it's like wearing a nerdy T-shirt, but it's sort of like, I mean, there's a, oh, cool, so you like grandmas, you like Abigail,
Yeah.
you like Spider-Gwen.
Did you say you like grandmas?
you like grandmas?
Whoa,
yeah?
too much information.
I like grandmas, and I was like, yeah.
Gremlin.
Grandmas are cool.
I mean, it's, you start talking to people like that. What are some? I always like to ask this question. What are some tips you have for people who are starting cosplay? Because it's daunting. You see somebody who's coming out and they're like in freaking dragon armor. You're like, that is a huge undertaking.
It's intimidating, I think. I mean, for sure, for me, I had no idea what I was doing. I had a plan, and nothing goes according to plan, and you just kind of roll with it. And my advice for people is this is supposed to be fun. So pick something that you love and something that you can put your heart and soul into, because if it's something that you're kind of like, oh, that looks cool, but I don't really love it, when you hit that bump in the road where you're pulling your hair out, you're going to give up. But if you really love it and you're really into it, you're going to push through that. And if you're having fun, you're cosplaying correctly. That's the rules. Just have a good time and enjoy yourself.
Okay.
I mean, they'll reach a certain point where you're like, take this off my body right now. But it's just like, it's so rewarding. It's like, I always say cosplay is a lot like a relationship. You have your good times and your bad times. And sometimes you're making it, you're like, what did I do? This is a huge mistake. And then when you get to the end of it, you're like, I love you. This is the best feeling ever. But I think my biggest thing, Google is your friend. You can go, literally, when I started cosplaying, there was no information resources whatsoever. So the fact that there's access to all this information now, tutorials, you can just ask people. It's really friendly to people just starting out. And for me, just have the patience to create something you're proud of. Like, cosplay's about feeling like you are at your best. Like, it's the best you can be. And if you're going out there and you're proud of what you're wearing, it'll show in photos and people will just gravitate towards you.
We actually have a question for you guys from one of our viewers on Twitter, if we can pull this up. Remember, you can tweet your questions at IGN, just like Joseph did. What costume was the best you've seen at Comic-Con?
Oh, today?
Let's go.
when we were walking down?
Yeah, there was amazing, when I was just walking out to come to here, there was this amazing like samurai and geisha. It was super beautiful, super detailed. I didn't even think it was from something, but the quality was just beautiful.
We walked out and you're like, oh wait, look at that, and we just stopped and admired it. And it
I
was
saw a pretty
incredible.
wicked Plants vs. Zombie.
Oh, cool.
It was a couple cosplay. Those are my favorite when two people get together and do one. That
Or
was
the
amazing.
mashups. The mashups are always
mashups
really,
are
really
really
interesting.
It gets weird because I mean, there was a point, I think it was like 2 years ago, I went to a convention and I started not recognizing things. And I was like, oh crap, this has gotten too big, or I've gotten extremely old.
No, that's good. When you don't recognize things, sometimes like that's the best way to find out about new stuff.
Yeah.
I remember I went to Anime LA and there's a ton of people dressed up in these like military outfits. And I'm like, this is so weird. I have never even heard of this anime. And it was Attack on Titan.
Oh,
and you know, just a couple months later, I found out all about it.
And
was
now
like,
it's everywhere.
No,
Yeah.
it's everywhere. The premiere is like next week for the live action, and I felt so cool because I jumped on that bandwagon before it was a bandwagon. I guess, so.
That's kind of what nerd culture is about. I mean, blame the hipsters, but really it's kind of getting into that stuff.
Seriously, golden age of geek right now.
We're about out of time. Is there any what's the golden cosplay that you hope to do someday?
Oh wow.
C-3PO is one of them.
C-3PO? I've been asked this question a long time, and I have a giant list, but mine for the longest time was Stormtrooper. I am a huge Star Wars fan and always wanted to be a Stormtrooper, and I have reached that goal. I'm actually wearing it tomorrow at Comic-Con.
Oh,
nice.
And it's just one of those costumes that you put on and you feel like a badass.
And have no aim.
And have no aim, can't move very much, but you feel like a badass, and that's all that
Look
matters.
really cool. Yeah.
I'm going to totally date myself. My dream costume was from when I first started. It's the hard suit from Bubblegum Crisis, Pris's hard suit. Google it.
Yeah,
you will know
that's
what it
super cool.
is.
It's kind of a precursor to plug suits, sort of.
Yeah, it is. It's freaking awesome, and it's just something I've always wanted to do. So.
Megan, how's
Mine's a tie between Trini, the Yellow Ranger, and Sailor Moon. I know they're out there, but I really want to get those cosplays right. So
cool.
You should just mash those up.
Yeah, just do both together.
Trini Moon.
Do them separate and then
Ooh.
together.
Okay.
She's like, okay, done.
Next
I like
year.
mashups, but I'm not going to do them.
You guys, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you
Thank you
for having
so
us.
much for having us.
Appreciate
It was so much fun.
Stay tuned. Lots more to come from IGN Live after this break.